Have you ever felt like a piece of your world was missing? That even surrounded by people, there was an unfillable void? This is the story of someone who lives in absence. An absence that is not measured by time, but by the intensity of the pain. The days are long, the nights endless, and the memories, they have become a constant echo, a reminder of everything that was lost. Between the silence of the walls and the weight of regret, this person is on the edge, all because of you, because of your absence. But is it too late for a reunion? Can love still conquer the chasm that separation has created? Longing has a cruel way of manifesting. It not only makes you remember, but makes you relive. Every smile, every touch, every word that once seemed trivial now carries immense weight. It's like a movie that plays repeatedly in my head, a movie I can't pause or change. And the more I try to forget, the stronger the memory becomes. Your absence has created a void that echoes in every corner. It's not just the silence that hurts, but what it carries, the memories. They appear in the most unexpected moments, in the simplest details. A song playing on the radio, the smell of coffee in the morning, or even the way the sun beams through the window. Everything brings me back to you. And with each memory, the longing weighs a bit more. I try to keep busy, I try to fill my time with things that distract the mind, but the truth is, nothing works. Because longing is not something you can simply ignore. It is a constant, a shadow that follows you wherever you go. And the worst part is that it doesn't come alone. It brings doubt, guilt, and that question that never stops. Do you miss me too? I wonder if you ever thought of me the way I think of you, if at any moment you looked at the phone, hesitated, and almost called me. If the memories also visit you when you least expect it, making you relive what we were, what we could have been. Because for me, these thoughts are daily. They are what keep me awake at night, what make time seem so slow and at the same time so confusing. And I know I wasn't perfect. I know there were mistakes, words that shouldn't have been said, and silences that hurt more than any fight. But above all, there was love. A love that is still here intact, even with the passing of time and distance. And it is this love that makes me want to fight, want to believe that there is still a chance for us. But the question that hurts the most is, do you still think of me? Is there a moment in the middle of your day when my face appears in your mind? Because for me, you never completely left. You are in every thought, in every beat of my heart, in every moment that I wish I could share again. Your absence is not just a physical distance, it is an emotional chasm. It's feeling that something is missing and not knowing how to fix it. It's knowing that perhaps I had the chance to change things, but I let the moment pass. And now all that remains is the weight of what if. But despite all of this, there is one thing that doesn't change: the desire to start over. The desire to cross this chasm and reach you on the other side. Because as difficult as it is to admit, I still believe it is worth it. I believe that the love we shared was real, and that there is still a chance to rebuild what was broken. I know that words may not be enough. I know that apologies don't erase mistakes and promises can seem empty after everything. But if there's one thing I want you to know, it's that my intention was never to hurt. My intention was always to care, protect, love. And even though I may have failed in some of these things, my feelings for you have never changed. I miss you. And it's not a superficial missing. It's an absence that takes over everything, that makes even happy moments seem incomplete. Because no matter how much I try to move on, there's always a part of me that looks back, hoping you look back too. And maybe you're reading this now wondering what changed, what made me finally say what I should have said so long ago. The answer is simple: longing. Longing showed me that silence doesn't heal, that running away doesn't solve anything. It showed me that if I want any chance of having you back, I need to be honest. I need to be vulnerable. And I need to tell you, without beating around the bush, how much you still mean to me. I don't expect you to forget the past. I don't expect things to go back to how they were before, like magic. All I hope is that you give me the chance to show that there is still something here, something worth saving. Because despite the distance, the time, and the mistakes, what I feel for you is as alive as it was on the first day. If you're willing, if there's still a space in your heart for me, I want to try. I want to rebuild what was lost, even if it takes time, even if it's difficult. Because in the end, you're worth all of that. You always were. But if your answer is different, if you feel there's no way for us to go back, I will understand too. I will accept it. Because, as much as it hurts, I know that love is also about letting go. It's about wanting the best for the other person, even if it means following separate paths. What matters is that you know this. Your absence taught me the value of your presence. It showed me how special you are, how much you changed my life, and how much I still want to be a part of yours. Now I leave these words with you, with the hope that somehow they find their way to your heart. And while I wait for your response, I want you to know that no matter what happens, you will always be an important part of me. Always. She is at the same time a reminder of what was beautiful and what is now absent. She is not just pain, she is also proof that what we had was real. And even though it hurts me now, it also gives me strength to believe that if it was real once, it can be again. Sometimes I think about the conversations we didn't have, the words that stayed trapped, the gestures I should have made, and the moments I should have valued more. These thoughts haunt me because I know that time is relentless. It does not wait, does not go back. But they also teach me something important, that it's never too late to try to correct what was left behind. And that's what I'm trying to do now. I'm trying to reach you in some way, even if I'm not sure how you're going to receive it. Because, as much as I am afraid, what scares me even more is the idea of never saying what I truly feel. The idea of you never knowing that, even in your absence, you continue to be one of the most significant parts of my life. I know that talking about feelings can be scary. It always has been for me. Maybe that's why I left so many things unsaid while there was still time. Maybe I thought you knew, that it wasn't necessary to put it into words. But now I realize that words have a power that gestures alone sometimes cannot reach. They make clear in black and white what we feel, even if it makes us vulnerable. If I could go back in time, I would have done more. I would have been more present, more attentive, more courageous. But as I said, time doesn't give us that chance. It only gives us the now, and that's why I'm here, trying to use this moment in the best possible way. I wonder if you miss me the way I miss you. If there is a moment in the day when you stop, look into the void and think about us, about the smiles, the long conversations, and the little things that made everything special. Because for me, those moments are still as vivid as before. And maybe that's what makes longing so difficult, the fact that for my heart you never left. I try to imagine how it would be if I had the chance to meet you now face to face. Would I have the courage to say all this? Would I be able to look into your eyes and show you, without needing words, how much you still mean to me? Or would fear stop me, once again, from being honest? What I know is that this message is my attempt to bridge the chasm created by our distance. A distance that, for me, was never just physical. It was emotional. It was a space that opened between us and that perhaps I contributed to creating. But now, all I want is to close that space, if you are willing to let me try. I'm not saying it will be easy. I'm not promising perfection or that we can simply erase what happened. But what I am promising is effort. Promising that if you give me a chance, I will do everything in my power to make things different, better. And if you feel that it is still not the right moment, or that there is no longer any space for me in your life, I will understand. I will accept that, because true love is wanting the best for the other, even if that best does not include you. But I hope with all my heart that there is still a spark in you, a part that wants to try again, that feels there is still something here worth saving. Because to me, you have always been worth it. Even when I didn't know how to show it, even when fear made me pull back. And that's why I am here now, overcoming fear and laying everything out, because you deserve to know. And maybe as you read this, you are wondering, has he really changed? Does he really understand what he did wrong? I cannot tell you that I have all the answers, but I can tell you that all this time I have reflected. I faced my own part in the chasm that opened between us, and I understood that if I want something to change, I need to start with myself. So this message is not just a plea to you. It is also a commitment to myself, a commitment to be someone better, to value the people I love, and to not let fear stop me from being genuine again. And you were the person who taught me that, even in your absence. Now all I can do is wait, not with haste nor with anxiety, but with hope. Hope that you read this with the same open heart that I wrote it with, and that somehow these words find a place in you, a place where there is still space for us. In the meantime, I want you to know that regardless of your response, my gratitude for you is immense. Gratitude for everything we experienced, for everything I learned from you, and most importantly, for who you are. I will be here waiting for your decision, and whatever path you choose, I will respect it. Because in the end, love is that. It's giving space, it's allowing choices, it's accepting that some things are beyond our control. But if there is any chance, any possibility of rebuilding what was lost, I want you to know that I am willing to try, and that this time, I will not let fear or pride stop me from doing what is right. Now I leave these words with you. They are sincere, they are real, and they are my attempt to reach you, even from a distance. And while you reflect, I want you to know that my longing is proof of how important you are to me. The truth is that your absence taught me a lot. More than any conversation or advice, it was this emptiness that showed me who I really am. It forced me to face my flaws, to recognize where I went wrong, and most importantly, to understand that some opportunities don't come twice. Maybe that's what hurts the most, knowing that if I had acted differently before, we wouldn't be here now, separated. But what I learned is that regret is not enough. Thinking about what could have been does not change the present. What changes is action, the courage to put words out there, to admit the mistakes, and to be willing to do things differently. And that's why I'm here writing this to you, even without knowing if these words will find a place in your heart. Have you ever felt this way? Have you ever looked at someone and realized that, despite all the difficulties, this person continues to be essential? Because that's exactly how I feel about you. You are like that fixed point in the middle of chaos, someone who, even from a distance, continues to be my north. And I don't want to pretend anymore that I can move forward without acknowledging that. Sometimes I wonder what you think when you remember me. Do you still feel something, even if it is just a sting of longing, or are your memories covered by layers of hurt and disappointment? I would like to know, but at the same time, it scares me. Because I know that the answers are not always the ones we hope to hear, but regardless of that, I need you to know what is in my heart. I need you to understand that, despite all the mistakes I made, my feelings for you have never changed. They are the one thing that has remained constant, even when everything around us seemed to be falling apart. And maybe that is why your absence hurts so much, because it reminds me of what we lost, but also of what can still be. If I could, I would apologize for every day that passed. Apologies for every word that stayed unspoken, for every moment I chose silence instead of truth. But more than that, I would ask for one thing: a chance. A chance to show you that what I feel for you is stronger than any mistake I have made. I know that rebuilding something takes time. I know it is not enough to ask for forgiveness and expect everything to return to normal. But I also know that true love does not disappear like that. It can be hurt, it can be hidden, but it never completely vanishes. And I believe that if there is a remnant of that love in you, we can use it as a foundation to start anew. I do not expect you to say you forgive me now. I do not expect you to forget everything that happened or simply take me back as if nothing has changed. All I hope is that you consider, that you allow this possibility to exist, because to me you are still the person who makes everything worth it. And I don't want to live in the what if anymore. I don't want to hide behind excuses or the fear of failing. I want to face whatever comes with the certainty that I am doing everything I can to win you back. Because in the end, the only thing that really matters is what I feel, and that no one can take away from me. I know that words can seem easy. I know that promises in and of themselves are not enough. But if you give me a chance, I want to prove that they are more than that. I want to show that what I am saying now is just the beginning, that I am willing to act, to be a better person, to do whatever it takes for you to see that my intention is genuine. You have always been more than special to me. You were my inspiration, my support, my reason to believe that love can be something profound and transformative. And even though the distance between us now seems great, I still feel that. I still believe in that. So, while you think about all of this, I want you to know that my intention was never to pressure you. I don't want you to feel that you need to respond to me now or make an immediate decision. All I want is for you to know how I feel, for you to understand that even in your absence, you continue to be the person who occupies the most important space in my heart. And if one day you feel that you also want to try, that you also believe there is still something here, I will be waiting. Not with haste, but with patience. Not with anxiety, but with hope. Because no matter how much time passes, my certainty about what I feel for you doesn't change. And if this is the last thing I can say, let it be this. You are important. Your presence, your energy, everything you represent is important to me, and nothing can change that. Now I leave these words with you. I don't know how you will receive them, but I know I needed to write them. Because if there is one thing I have learned from your absence, it is that some things cannot be left for later, and to say that I miss you, that I still believe in us, is one of them.